Day 46. It is, I would say today started off as another one of those days where I come from a high and start off from a bit of a disappointing beginning. That is the human nature. My name's Josh. I'm building a solar company that is going to do $1 million in profit per year and starting with an investment of $15,000. So this is the sales game with Josh McKay, helping solar business owners sell more, make more, and work less. Someone that I hired a couple of days ago has decided he would take a job somewhere else. I got really built up and excited before the contract and everything was signed. Just a little note to self that I'll wait till the contract's signed before I start building my expectations on that. But I can't help myself if I get excited. I had to do a bit of a self-awareness practice because part of my thought process was like, oh, is the door-to-door going to be too hard? And just from one person saying no. That stuff still happens even after I've had quite a lot of experience with door-to-door. I then thought, oh, maybe I can go buy leads from one of these companies, and like just probably spent about 2 or 3 hours today in the morning just getting stuck in that. I decided not to dwell and just to move forward. To be honest, it's probably more like 4 to 5 hours that I let it affect me. Not to say that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, it's just something that happened. I was aware of it while it was happening and decided, am I going to let this continue to affect me, or am I going to do to try and change my way through it? So I had to just have a think and reconfirm to myself whether I wanted to continue on with building a door-to-door team, or if I thought it was going to be too difficult to hire for that role and go straight into buying leads from someone. I'll call them and then buy leads from a third-party provider. Someone like BizFocus generates exclusive leads, go buy a bunch of their leads and then call them, book appointments, do the sales, and then get someone in directly to a work-from-home role because it's easy to hire for that. I decided, fuck it. I had an applicant respond today with some really good answers, and instead of doing the automated second email, so I've changed the recruitment process slightly, I just jumped on a phone call straight away and had a conversation. And I think that's the better way to go. I was trying to save myself a lot of time. I think when I'm in a position where maybe first of all, maybe I narrowed down the role a little bit more. Maybe it's not the door-to-door role that I need to do that for. Maybe it just does require a bit of a soft touch of explaining the door-to-door role and how we run it before I layer that information on. I think for other roles, it's probably okay for the sales roles where we've got a lot of people that all really want the role. Not everyone really wants the door-to-door role, so I've got to talk a little bit about where it leads to, not just the fact that it's only door-to-door. Because I know that building the door-to-door is not the long-term solution. For people, they'll come into it, they could do it for a while, and then they'll want to move in. So it could just be a good initial point where we're having new sales development reps or appointment setters coming into the company, learning their role on the doors, generating some really good quality appointments, just without any expensive lead costs, just pure. It's learning, it's training, and whatever appointments they develop, we can make sales from. Not giving them leads and then testing. It's a bit more of an expensive model, and also it takes more time. It takes more time to train someone to do phone-based, trying to get a hold of, there's a lot of time spent trying to get a hold of people. Look, it's probably similar, actually, to be honest. I just know how to do it. I think that's the main thing. Maybe eventually I don't have a door-to-door team at all. Maybe that's just my old mind. I just know that I can start a company bootstrapped from door-to-door because I can do it myself. So I have decided to continue on with building the door-to-door team. I decided I'm not going to let one person rejection hurt me so bad that I'm going to change the direction of my business. And I'm glad I did, because I literally just went through, and what I was going to do as well is going to go back and call some of the other successful applicants who we responded to with the second email template, just telling them, hey, did you check that the role's door-to-door? And just call them and explain it a little bit better, because I believe that I would have been able to do that. Had I have done that initially, I probably would have had the people come through, and I probably would have already had hired 1 or 2 people. But this is part of the reason why I'm doing all this again, so I can go through this learning process. Okay, now I know for the door-to-door role, I can send out the first email template, which asks them to give them a little bit more information about themselves and answer a few questions about what their interests are and such. And then based on the people that respond to that and based on the answers that I get, I'll just call those people directly instead of sending a second email template. We use that other process for other roles like administration and sales, working from home sales roles and stuff that people that are probably in very high demand. That makes sense to me as far as why the drop-off rate was so high with the response to the second email. So lesson learned. That's a recruitment process change. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. The other thing today, because I had to, not last night, the night before, where I only slept 3 hours, I think it carried on and affected me today as well. Because Jerry, my operations person, was running these CRM troubleshooting things that he was going through CRM. Usually I'm all over it, and I was just looking at it and I was like, oh, I don't have the head for this today. And so my motivation and I think my mood was a little bit of a low because of that lack of sleep, and it threw me off. So note to self that maybe the extra benefit that I got in the short term has probably balanced itself out already one day later. Tomorrow's a new day, and that's after having Red Bull and caffeine and stuff. But that's a good sort of thing to be aware of. And just remember next time, maybe I'll just go to sleep and I can sort it all out tomorrow. Whatever. In the end, over the balance, I enjoyed what I was doing. I just have to be aware that with the highs is going to come some lows. And that's business. But after this phone call, and again, something that I realized, sometimes you just need to do something to feel good about what you've done for the day. And this is the biggest thing that I want to work on, is I need leads and I need sales. And I need someone to help me go out there and generate the leads so that I can attend more sales. So I need to prioritize getting someone on for the leads thing. If I haven't hired someone by Tuesday next week, I need to go back out and do more door knocking to fill the tanks up again. And to be honest, even if I do hire someone, I'm probably still going to need to do that because I need cash flow to come through. So I'll probably still have to go out and knock a few doors and generate a few more leads and sales just to make sure we've still got more installs coming through and to pay for some of the things that, like training and stuff like that. So today I had that phone interview, and I've set up an interview for tomorrow at 1 o'clock, which is very cool. I've got Jerry was setting up the air call integration to Zoho, so that's our telephony provider. I had to confirm today in the morning if this new guy that was supposed to start was actually starting, because he'd been ghosting me on the text. I just actually went out there and said, hey man, I'm getting the feeling that you've decided you don't want the job anymore. I just need a heads up, because obviously I just need a heads up. And he just replied to me saying, hey, I've taken this job, no hard feelings at all. Honestly, there was no hard feelings about it. It's just that it was the high to low of, oh, I've got someone starting, to, oh, no one's starting. I contemplated the door-to-door role. That is something that I did want to do from the very beginning after seeing that. I looked into Sales Rabbit, which I had a call with them last night. It went really well. I've decided to go ahead with the software. However, I found out that is a 12-month contract. I thought I was doing quarter to quarter. It turns out I've signed a 12-month contract. Just trying to clarify what happens if after 3 months and I'm not doing door-to-door. What's the go? However, that being said, I probably will still have a B2B team running, so I can still use that app and the iPads for that. So it's probably not a deal breaker, but we'll find out what they say. Maybe if they give me an option to out, I'll just feel a little bit better about it, to be honest. And that's all I really want. I don't mind locking myself into things, but actually, you know what, to be honest, I prefer not to lock myself into contracts with software and stuff like that, because when you're making decisions with business, you want to know that you can repivot if new information comes along. And when you're signing up to software for a specific role, it's not, like I get it from the software provider, but these guys are charging upfront setup fees and doing quarterly, they bill higher as well, and they have minimum users. And so they've set up all these things to make sure that from day one they're making money, but they put all that risk on to us. And I don't really like that. I don't like that style. It does make it harder to say yes to these things. And this is something that I'm really trying to solve. And this is reading books like $100 Million Offers and Leads from Alex Hormozy, talking about how to de-risk the offer. These experiences that I'm having have also led me to be contemplating my offer. And there's one aspect of my offer that hasn't been sitting well with me, and it's the money back guarantee that we provide. So basically I've said if the system doesn't pay for itself in X number of years that we told you it would. So the specified number of years, I'll give you a quote, it costs $10,000. We say in 5 years, you'll get $10,000 of bill savings. So guaranteed return on investment is 5 years. If it doesn't pay itself back in 5 years, it takes 6 years, we'll refund the difference at the end of 5 years. You know, so if in 5 years it's only paid you $8,000, we'll pay you $2,000. That's the guarantee at the moment. It's pretty good, but it puts the focus on a return on investment and money and getting money back. And that's great, that's important, and that's something that we can present, but I don't want it to be the focus, because what that limits us is, I want to design a system that future-proofs the customer from having to get solar again. I want to build in value add-ons like 24/7 alert monitoring, so we manage the performance of the system. We check in once a year to make sure it's going. Like, this is like servicing. We have a guarantee of 10 years that if anything goes wrong with it, it's sorted. So there's other things. It's not just about getting your money back. It's actually, that's only one aspect of it. It's about moving to sustainable power, that you never have to worry about buying power from the grid. You don't have to worry about price increases over the next 25 years. It's a really long-term thing. And putting the guarantee around just a short-term, hey, you'll get your money back in 5 years, otherwise we'll pay the difference, it's the wrong message. It doesn't fit in with it. And I've had that from the very first 2 or 3 presentations, and it's been mulling. Maybe it's just been sitting there in the background, but after this experience with Sales Rabbit, and after the experience, like Sales Rabbit, an excellent presentation, but locking someone in for a 12-month contract, I don't agree with that. If you have a good service and the business is going well, they'll continue to use the service, especially if you're charging for minimum users plus upfront charges. Yeah, it's not a great, it doesn't make it easy for us as a business owner to say yes to. And a lot of these lead providers, you have to buy a bunch of leads up front before you can, and there's no money back or service guarantees or minimum performance or whatever. It's just, hey, here's a bunch of leads, hopefully it works. Fucking, if it doesn't, you just lost $3,000. That's a terrible offer. Yeah, it works really well. You can say all that shit, but if it works really well, you could provide an offer around that. So anyway, I bounced off the ideas of ChatGPT, looking at structuring it to be more of like a satisfaction guarantee, like 12 months. If you're not completely satisfied with your purchase, you can get a full refund. That's a powerful guarantee because it's very open, you know, like completely satisfied. So if I'm only 99% satisfied, I get essentially yes. You know, if it's, I guess, and then it just comes down to being reasonable. And then also a performance guarantee on the output of the system. So we guarantee that the system will perform like this over 25 years. It's guaranteed. And that guarantee actually comes from the panel provider, which is great because we can offer it as if it's from us, but it's being backed by the panel provider. So yeah, it focuses on the long-term guarantee of generating your own electricity, plus the satisfaction guarantee that you'll be really happy with with your decision to buy. And if you're not, you can get your money back. That builds a guarantee based on service, long-term reliability, tying it in with our 10-year warranties, our 24/7 monitoring, our annual system performance checks. That feels way better. And even just saying it now out loud, I feel like I can pitch that much better as well. So I'm going to be changing the offer to do that. We printed out sales materials and we've done designs and all that stuff. I don't give a shit. Actually, funny. We did this is just a funny moment. We did these A4 flyers with Vistaprint, and there was meant to be like a little warranty brochure, a little tri-fold. You can imagine you go to buy a car and they give you a little extended warranty brochure. It's usually a little it's like an A4 folder folded into 3, and you just open it like a pamphlet. These came out as A4 size. It's like literally taking up the whole. I thought it was extremely funny, really funny. We had to reprint those anyway. Like, that's why we only printed 20. That was the minimum number we could. The sales one pager is exactly the same. It was meant to be this little booklet, and it's this massive thing. Although you can see the text really well on the sales one pager, so it's actually cool. Which made me think of the idea of, oh, maybe we can get folders, and then we can put this inside the folder, and we can put the panel brochure and the inverter brochure all inside, and give them something physical to hold on to. I think people like that stuff. They get something right then and there on the spot. They feel like, oh, this is moving forward now. I've got something tangible in my hand. I wasn't sure if I was going to do that, but after saying that and after holding this again, it feels good. I think we will do that as well. So that's where my mind has been at today. It's just been another one of those, like the last 2 videos that I made were the highs, which is cool. And I'm very well aware of that, and it's good to be aware that's going to continue to happen. That's being life. If I can continue to learn how to be aware of these things and just work through it, and maybe even just get over it a little bit faster, like just accept, okay, this has happened. And then I did accept it. That wasn't a thing about acceptance, it was just disappointing. And I think that the sleep thing had a big effect on it, but I just want to share that I'm human and go through these things. So, contemplated money back guarantee, which I'm going to restructure that. And also just got a quote for the workers' compensation. Looks like for around 570 grand's worth of wages for about 6 people. That's a few door-to-door reps and appointment setters, plus a few salespeople. The cost is around 4 grand here in WA to cover the workers' compensation for those people that are doing both working from home and field-based sales and appointments and door-to-door. I'm not sure what that covers. That's just for our business as well. Yeah, that was just interesting. That now that it's not just me working here in Australia, I've got employees now. I need to make sure we've got workers' compensation. That's a legal requirement, which is cool. It's a sign of growing. An extra $4,000 a year. No worries, stack it on to all the other subscriptions. But yeah, I'm feeling good again about, like, especially that conversation with Hayley was really enjoyable. And just talking to her, and I like that people are looking. I asked her why she's in a job now, she's looking to move out. I like that people are looking for growth and opportunity. They don't want to just stay in that role where maybe there was no progression. I think she was in hospitality, bartending, that sort of thing. There's not really any further to go. Maybe you manage, right? And then after that, where do you go? So that I can provide that opportunity because it's new, because it's growing, and because I want to learn all these different things. I want people to learn those things with us and then excel in them. And I'm really happy to develop people over time too. Of course, we'll work with people that are already developed, but those people can help train our other people as well. So we can bring on experienced people and then find other people in the area and start building these teams out. And yeah, it's just exciting. It's exciting to do. Also, I'm thinking there's an all energy conference in October. I've already spoken to Jerry about flying him over from Philippines. I think it's really important that everyone, no matter where they're working, is included in team events, because I would do that with anyone working here anyway. And then also having him flying to Perth to catch up with the team. We'll probably do an event here once everyone's set up. And although I'm thinking Bali, because I really like Bali as well, I can justify as a work experience. So, but it's important. I think for someone in operations, it's probably important to maybe meet people face to face here in Australia and get a lay of the land, how it feels, how businesses run, and just what Perth feels like, and that will help him in his role quite a lot, I believe. So we will probably have other Philippines workers on by that stage, and I'll be flying them all over and paying for accommodation and just introducing them to some of the people that they're working with, and go out to installs and meet some of our team and catch up for barbecue and just get a feel for Australia and the culture. That's everything. That's where I'm sharing it. Back to that sort of optimism and on the mission, on the hunt again. I will share a video with you next time, probably tomorrow. Till then.